The thing about airway dentistry is it works. The most rewarding part of my practice is seeing results in my patients. Some parents get confused when they come in to see us for an orthodontic consult and we start talking about sleep. They assume that all kids don't sleep well, and as a dentist, why does it matter? So a big part of our job is educating those parents and letting them know how everything is connected and how jaw growth and sleep really go hand in hand. So when Andrea first came in, her mom brought her because she had crowded teeth, and as a dentist, knew that there was something I could do about that. She was surprised when we handed her a sleep questionnaire and asked how Andrea was sleeping at night. When she started going through the checklist and realizing that she checked most boxes, she asked me, well, why as a dentist does this matter? I'm just here to look at her teeth. And as we went through our process with her and explained how jaw underdevelopment relates to crowded teeth, as well as poor sleep quality, she was very excited to see if we could help Andrea sleep, as well as straightening her teeth along the way. As soon as Andrea walked into my chair, I could tell that she was struggling and that we could help. Of course, I saw the crowded teeth, but I could see the venous pooling in her eyes. Her eyes were casted down. She looked exhausted. She had a lot of tightness in her face, and her lips were apart the entire time she was with me, showing that she was mouth breathing 24/7. Just by looking at Andrea when she walked into the office, I could tell her lower jaw was underdeveloped, and I could tell she was gonna have a very small airway. But part of our treatment is we need to get full diagnostic records and full x-rays. So we did what we did on every child before we start treatment, which is we take a 3D CBCT scan of her airway, her jaw, and her nose, so we can make sure there's no anatomical restrictions that we may need to refer her out to an ENT specialist for. So when we did her exam, we saw that, no surprise to us, she had a very, very small airway and a jaw that was very set back. We also could see on the scan that her lips were apart and not sealed, so that confirmed even more that she's mouth breathing all of the time. We measured that she was severely underdeveloped and narrow, with a vaulted palate in her maxilla and very, very narrow arches, congested arches. She had no room for her teeth, which to mom, her teeth were crowded and we needed to fix that. To us, we knew that her jaws were underdeveloped and we needed to address that. Once we started talking to mom about sleep and crowding and how that's all related, she was very excited to get started right away. It was at her consult appointment that we took our imaging and our scans. We do digital impression scans to measure her mouth for her fixed expanders. We did upper and lower fixed expanders that we turn sometimes every day, and then we typically switch to just a couple times a week. And the course of treatment is only about 6 to 9 months. We put the expanders in, and mom or dad will turn them at home, and we check the children every 2 weeks at first, and then slowly every month. After about 6 to 9 months, she's ready for her next step. With Andrea, she had a lot of crowding. We knew we were gonna have to do some braces as well to help align those front teeth. Once we expanded and made room for those teeth, we were able to grab them with the traditional brackets, pull them into place, and align her jaw so that she had long-term retention. Just 4 weeks in, mom came in so excited that her daughter was sleeping. She said she wasn't snoring anymore, she wasn't mouth breathing anymore, and she could already tell that the dark circles under her eyes were less than they were when we started. She woke up happier, more energized, and she could tell that we were making changes in her child. Compliance was at an all-time high. She was excited every time she came in and couldn't wait to see the changes that her daughter was gonna have with continued treatment.
Let me see your teeth, sweetheart. Wow, did you want to see a mirror so you can see them? Yes. Okay, and those springs at the bottom are just gonna be there for like a couple of months, okay? They're gonna hold the space so your big girl teeth can come in so you can have a nice, pretty, straight smile. Yes? What do you think, Mom?
Wow, the progress has been incredible. I remember we started with the spacers, and before the spacers, she would have trouble sleeping, she would snore a lot, she would wake up with big puffy eyes, a lot of bad mood. In school, she'll have problems with the teachers, I will get called. After we started with the spacers, I think by the second time we came here, the puffiness went down. She stopped snoring, she could sleep better. You know, there was a lot of behavior change that I had no clue that had to do with her mouth. I would wake up sometimes in the middle of the night because I would hear her choking, and I didn't know it was because something here was so small that she couldn't breathe properly at night. And then once the expanders got put in and everything just started growing and getting in place, I saw a big difference.
Absolutely. Are you happy? Yes. Oh my goodness.
The most important way that I assess if treatment is successful or we're moving in the right direction is how the child feels. So while they walk in, we ask them everything on the sleep questionnaire that they said yes to. And a lot of times there's more things on the questionnaire that mom said, actually, if I look back now, I would have marked yes to those too, and that's improved. So we uncovered more things that Andrea had issues with that mom didn't even tell us at first. Mom thought that this was Andrea's personality, that she's not a morning person. She's a little bit of a cranky kid. That was no longer the case, and that was very exciting. The more expansion we did, the better she got. And she was happy and excited and went from a kid that was crying and nervous when we started treatment to being so exciting and trusting of me, which was very rewarding as a dentist to see. She still has a ways to go. She's still a little bit more narrow than I want her to be on completion, but she's only 9 years old, so we have plenty of time to get her there, and we're gonna do continued treatment. We're gonna finish the first alignment, we call that phase 1 of her braces, and then after that, we're gonna get her involved with a myofunctional therapist to make sure her tongue is her forever retainer, that it's working for her and not against her. She's gonna wear a myofunctional appliance at night and an hour during the day. Our goal is, with proper tongue position, proper muscle function, that she'll continue to grow forward instead of back. And then she won't need any more treatment with me as far as orthodontics go. We're gonna be evaluating her at her hygiene visits. That's the great thing about being her general dentist, is I get to see her every 6 months. Most of our children, by the time they lose the rest of their teeth, they have minor crowding, their jaws are in the right position, we have a good foundation. The only thing we need to do is some minor Invisalign tweaking to align those teeth. With Andrea, I'm so excited because I know I made her life better for the future. That by breathing better as an 8 and 9-year-old, that oxygenation that her brain got is gonna lead to better development, better school performance, and an overall best version of herself for the rest of her life. I know that if I would have waited till later, there would have been decreased oxygen to all of her organs, including her brain, which could have resulted in poorer school performance, which she was already showing, and overall a lower quality of life. So by acting fast and fixing the sign, which is the crowded teeth, we were able to fix her foundation and set her up for a lifetime where she can be the best version of herself. And that's really exciting to me.